Listen up.
It's just in.
All the gossip. The Rumor Report. Gossip. With Angela Yee.
It's the Rumor Report.
The Breakfast Club.
Well, we talked about this yesterday. Pastor Carl Lentz was let go from Hillsong. Now, he's the one that was mentoring Justin Bieber. And everybody was like, well, how does a pastor get fired, right? Well, apparently he says he was unfaithful in his marriage, and that's what happened. He did a long post. He said, our time at Hillsong has come to an end. This is a hard ending to what has been the most amazing, impacting, and special chapter in our lives. He goes on to talk about his responsibilities. And he said, when you lead out of an empty place, you make choices that have real and painful consequences. I was unfaithful in my marriage, the most important relationship in my life, and held accountable for that. This failure is on me and me alone, and I take full responsibility for my actions. I now begin a journey of rebuilding trust with my wife, Laura, and my children, and taking real time to work on and heal my own life and seek out the help that I need.
Well, dropping the clues bombs with Pastor Carl Lentz. I totally disagree with how Hillsong handled Pastor Carl Lentz, though. You know, what is a moral failure? Like, no man is perfect. We all fall short. The flesh is weak. We fall down, but we get up, or whatever the hell Donnie McClurkin said. Putting out press releases saying he got fired. How do you fire a pastor, and why is it in a press release? Like, when you're a church, what happened to redemption? What happened to forgiveness? Handling things in-house. It's just lame.
It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, infidelity should be between a husband, a wife, and God. I would tell everyone at Hillsong, including Brian Houston, who we've had up here. That's the brother that came up here and prayed for Tekashi 6ix9ine. I tell Brian Houston, what do your sins look like? When have you failed morally? Should God fire you? Like, I don't like that.
Well, we also don't know if there was more to it than this, but he thanked the pastors. He thanked Brian and Bobby. He said, thank you for allowing us to lead, allowing us to thrive, and giving us room to have a voice that you have never stifled or tried to silence. Thank you for your grace and kindness, especially in this season, as you have done so much to protect and love us through this.
Well, guess what? If it is more than this, then the church going to look crazy. Because if it's more than this, whatever it is, infidelity, they just chalk it up as a moral failure. You know what I mean? If it's just a moral failure.
I'm not saying we don't know what happened behind the scenes, if this cheating got messy, if it had something to do with the church. We don't know.
You're the church.
But he's not. It looks like he's taking full responsibility for everything.
But I grew up Jehovah's Witness, and this feels like when you get disfellowshipped. I don't like it. Like, I think that you're supposed to bring people in, especially when you are a church or a religious organization.
But the problem is we just don't know the whole story.
Well, they said it's a moral failure. So guess what? If it's worse than a moral failure, the church going to look crazy for just chalking it up as a moral failure. I don't like it.
All right, now Regina Carter wants an apology from people who supported Donald Trump. And that would include her father, I would assume, because she said she posted, after hearing this last press conference by Trump, if you supported him in any way, you should give us a public apology like right now. That was embarrassing.
Yeah, she's talking to her dad, too.
Question. She knew she was going to get crazy backlash for that, right? Did she? I didn't see it. I didn't even see that post till you said it just now. But did she get crazy backlash for saying that? Did people come on down to her like, oh, but what about your dad?
I'm sure they did.
Well, it was on her Instagram story, so we can't see what people said. All we can see is that it was posted on all the blogs.
And that's fine, though. I mean, you can have a difference of opinion than your father.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, it didn't end well for his fiance, though, I guess. All right, now G Herbo is looking to hire somebody, and he wants to pay them to be his personal blunt roller. How much do you think that's worth?
A personal blunt roller?
I don't know.
Yeah, somebody just
$10 an hour? I don't know.
Depends how many.
All right, here's what he had to say.
Who willing to make $36,000 a year? I'm ready to pay him $100 a day to roll up. That's all you getting though. That's all I got is $100 because I'm letting you smoke death and you around. For real, just so y'all know, I ain't playing, bro. Like, I love smoking way too much to hate rolling this much.
Just pay your assistant. Teach your assistant how to roll. That's what I would do. Or buy a joint roller off Amazon. They roll the cones for you.
I mean, if he got somebody.
That's
just to roll the bus all day.
$36,000 a year, though. The only problem is this, right?
What?
Do you have to be on call all the time?
Yeah. No, I think Snoop,
that's hard.
I think Snoop has
That's
one.
what.
I think Snoop has a roller. I think Snoop has a roller. Roll him like 10, 20 a day.
Because then you can't do
all.
your own stuff. Like, you can't get another job. You can't do your own stuff. That's all you'll have.
Well, that's your job.
But what Envy said is true, though. You roll like 5 or 6 a day.
Probably 10 a day for
That's
them.
all. And get out the way.
Yep.
And you get to smoke for free.
Why don't you just buy a joint roller, though? They sell those on Amazon.
I don't know. All right. Well, that is your Rumor Report. I'm Angela Yee.